Beer bellies and pot bellies seem to grow with age among populations in affluent as well as in developing countries. A new study finds the number of adults in the United States with abdominal obesity continues to rise, and the average waist size of the typical adult in the US is also increasing. The incidence of potbellies are also increasing in Asian countries like Sri Lanka, noting that with the prevalence of underweight and malnutrition. Moreover, the prevalence of obesity and potbellies are seen in urban populations like Colombo and other cities. Sri Lanka is blessed with unique leafy veggies and specials like kolakantha malung, ambultial, and assortment of veggies to go with the rice, the staple diet, but it is observed that appallingly susceptible to diet-related chronic diseases including obesity and potbellies are seen. Potbellies are a somewhat disturbing common sight. Really, have you ever stepped out of your house and not seen one? And obesity, which is prevalent among 25.2% of Sri Lankan adults, is alarmingly on the rise. From your youth flat stomach days to develop a potbelly takes a long time. It is easy to prevent it rather than trying to get rid of it when you get it, as it is not so easy. A potbelly is caused by many factors. The abdominal wall muscles do become flabby with age through sedentary affluent lifestyles. Such protuberances get flattened when you lie in bed in supine position. In a potbelly situation, the shape remains the same in supine position without flattening. It is formed partly due to the accumulation of layers of fat under your abdominal wall skin, referred to as the subcutaneous fat. Fat collected over it called extraperitoneal fat, and beneath the peritoneum is the abdominal cavity, and fat covers all the internal organs to keep them warm and prevent from shock movements due to trauma. Now, talking about the omentum, it is a membrane hanging from the greater curvature of your stomach. In thin people, this is a thin membrane with a few scattered fat infiltrations. As you put on weight, this becomes filled with fat, and the omentum becomes like a ball impregnated with fat tissue. Omental fat is closer to your internal organs, like your liver, so they look it for energy. The fat it releases goes to your liver, and from there to your arteries, where it's linked to increased lousy LDL cholesterol and worse, low HDL, high triglycerides, and inflammation causing chemicals. All the fat in the abdominal cavity is referred to as visceral fat. When it is excessively surrounding the organs, these fat masses can affect their body functions. Like anything else, fat can become inflamed, which makes it painful and can cause trouble. How does a thin person with flat belly get into the stage having a potbelly? It is all due to sedentary lifestyles with no daily exercise to keep fit and eating high-dense foods, which results in a potbelly. The worst foods are processed meats, carb-dense foods, fried foods, and other excessively fat-containing foods. Carb-dense foods trigger inflammation in your guts. Carb-dense foods can alter the balance of your gut flora, or as we call microbiota, triggering inflammation. Unhealthy dietary fats are linked to inflammation and thus contribute to excess belly fat. They are found in packaged foods containing trans fat to increase shelf life, processed and high-fat cuts of meat, full dairy, corn oil, grapeseed oil, soybean oil, sunflower oil containing omega-6 fatty acids. Certain foods encourage belly fat. One of them is trans fats, which is found in meats and dairy as well as in deep fried or processed foods. Also bad are sodas, candy, processed baked goods and other foods sweetened with fructose. So read the labels and avoid ingredients like partially hydrogenated oils or high fructose corn syrup and follow the usual rules for healthy eating with lots of fresh produce, whole grains like wheat breads and oatmeal and lean proteins like skinless chicken, fish, eggs, beans and low-fat dairy. Why is visceral fat among pot-bellied people bad for you? Fat under your skin or subcutaneous fat is harmless. Unlike the deeper visceral fat can raise your risk for serious medical issues like heart disease, Alzheimer's, type 2 diabetes, stroke, and high blood cholesterol and triglycerides levels. Studies have shown that visceral fat makes more of certain proteins that inflame your body's tissues and organs and narrow your blood vessels, resulting in high peripheral resistance, leading to high blood pressure. As scientists learn more about the key role of inflammation in diabetes, heart disease, and other disorders, new research from Washington's University School of Medicine in St. Louis suggests that fat in the belly may be an important promoter of that inflammation. The fat is metabolically active and increased inflammatory cytokines are produced. Cytokine is a general term used for small secreted proteins that are key modulators of inflammation. In obese people, the visceral fat produces highly inflammable cytokines. Also, these cytokines become highly inflamed in patients with metabolic syndrome and in those with established coronary artery disease and contributes to insulin resistance. These research facts prove that these cytokines produced from visceral fat is like sitting on a volcano that would erupt any moment and lead to serious situations affect your health and well-being. The vital organs that are affected are the pancreas, liver and intestines among others and runs the risk of certain health complications as mentioned before. There are certain foods that fight belly fat. They include dark chocolate. We all need a sweet fix from time to time. Blueberries. While most fruits are good for our overall health, there is one that takes the cake when it comes to burning belly fat. That is blueberries. Others are avocados, oatmeal, leafy greens, nuts, fish, peanut butter. I would like to mention that lemon water is low calorie and promote fullness, helps reduce calorie intake and when taken daily may lead to weight loss. Drinking green tea helps you to shed pounds and melt away the unhealthy visceral fat bellies. Dieting will lose overall weight and helps to shrink your waistline. Studies suggest that more calcium and vitamin D in your body may be linked to less visceral fat. So load up on leafy greens like collards and spinach. Tofu and sardines are also good picks as are daily foods like yogurt, cheese and milk. In addition to a weight-reducing diet, what helps most to shrink your belly is daily exercise. Walking for over 3 hours at intervals daily is a sure way of reducing belly fat. I have done it and you could do it too. So it is a good idea to get rid of that fat belly through dieting, exercising, and change of lifestyles to reduce the inflammatory processes in your body for better health and well-being. Hope this video talk was useful. Stay safe and goodbye for now.